social media platforms had become so dominant, there was already a proliferation of mis and disinformation that was making achieving what we were trying to achieve, a better world, and a more inclusive, a more peaceful and harmonious world, it was making it more difficult. But with COVID-19, we realized very quickly we were in a communication crisis unlike any that we had ever been in before, and there was also so little known. We know that communicating science from just looking back at communicating vaccines or communicating all kinds of science is hard, because it's not black and white, it's nuanced, and in this case the virus was changing, and we're used to, as public health institutions or the UN or WHO, putting out kind of press releases or dry documents in the form of PDFs, and meanwhile very emotive content was going out, people expressing their fears. And people who are very active in the anti-vaccine scene and others were seizing the opportunity of people being so afraid as well, and injecting disinformation and misleading information, fueled also by some leaders and governments. So it was this, it was a cacophony of information. WHO called it an infodemic, which meant it was, if you were a user and you were trying to search, you were just confused, because travel to where the disinformation also travels. Actually, Claire has spoken about data gaps. We need to find where people are searching and get there first, but not with a kind of boring 50-page document, but content that is produced in an engaging form that travels well digitally and works on social media.
Oh my God.
And they were much more trusted than the United Nations telling them something from New York City headquarters. So, and finally, we had another trusted messenger project, which was called Team Halo, where we trained scientists around the world and some doctors on TikTok, and we had TikTok working with us. And these scientists, who had virtually no following to start with, got verified tics. They started bringing people in their community into their labs, into their offices, and answering their questions, engaging with them. It really took off, and many of them became kind of like national media go-to advisors, and so it was a layered deployment of ideas and tactics. But finally, and Claire also mentioned this, people need to be inoculated themselves. And I think, social media took off so quickly that...
That clip was of an interview at the World Economic Forum with Melissa Ruth Fleming, who works at the UN. She's an American journalist, author, and the head of the United Nations Department of Global Communications. She worked closely with the UN World Health Organization to attack any mis or disinformation. While I can't find a direct connection for her and Prince Harry, we do know Prince Harry is very involved, as well as Archewell, with the World Health Organization. For the latest example of him visiting Tedros at the WHO was in September 2024, when Harry attended a dinner organized by the World Health Organization alongside Queen Mathilde of Belgium, if that's how you say her name, Mathilde. And you have a picture down here of Harry standing next to Tedros at a dinner for mental health, children's mental health, funded by the World Health Organization. So close ties of Harry with the UN World Health Organization. Both Harry and Meghan visited the UN and the World Health Organization on their last trip to New York. So Melissa Fleming said in that interview that she was in charge of getting together a group to fight misinformation. And the name of the group, she called it Team Halo. Now, this is a screen grab from the Wayback Machine. They've since taken down the website. It was called teamhalo.org. And what happened was the UN, and I guess Melissa Fleming at the top, hired all of these young doctors to go out, make TikToks, to really push young people to take the jabby. And not only did they do that, they also organized and attacked any nurses or doctors or other medical professionals who were vaccine hesitant. So is it just me that finds it suspicious that you have a woman who's obviously associated with the same organization as Prince Harry, Archwell, and she starts a group of basically online terrorists called Team Halo, when we know Prince Harry, who never talks nonstop about his late mother, whose main organization that he is involved with and posing for pictures about, the Halo Trust. Is that a coincidence? Halo and Halo? I've seriously wondered about this, and the coincidences are piling up. And the reason I call it a terrorist organization is from this book, What the Nurses Saw, written by Ken McCarthy, who went to high school with Fauci and was so disgusted by what Fauci was doing with COVID. He works in marketing, and he could tell the whole thing was a scam from the beginning, in his opinion. And he interviewed the nurses, found out exactly what was going on. Oh, look who's there, Melissa Fleming. Wonder why she's in this book about what the nurses saw. Just to give you a recap here, this is the covering the deaths in the hospital that were, they believe, intentional with the protocols that were put in place. But besides that, these nurses who came forward in this who interviewed with him discussed Team Halo. They had very affected and attacked by Team Halo. In a transcript from Nicole Siratek that she gave to Senator Ron Johnson, said an organization called Team Halo, which is a UN World Economic Forum created group, got some nurses and doctors together and gave them verified TikTok accounts and preferential algorithm treatment to debunk, quote, COVID vaccine myths. They started to target people like me and hundreds of other nurses. So American nurses and medical care workers were attacked by these people. She goes on, I had complaints in from Australia. They had hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, and they would say, go report this nurse. So they would swarm the board of nursing and shut everything down. She had to surrender her nursing license until everything calmed down. Team Halo has since been disbanded, but we found another group associated with them called Shots Heard Around the World. So they knew that if they reported a nurse or any other, or called the employer of a medical worker who spoke out on social media expressing vaccine hesitancy, all you have to do, that they knew, is make a complaint to a nursing board. Even if you're on the other side of the world and you never even met this nurse, you can make a complaint, and that takes away their license while they do an investigation. So then they're not making any money, they can't work. And they would organize online this Team Halo and basically put these people out of work or get them fired in some cases. Just like they were deplatforming people off YouTube, they were deplatforming doctors and nurses and other medical health care during a pandemic. This is 2021. And getting American medical workers fired from their jobs, or at least suspended pending investigations. But it didn't stop there with reporting licenses. They would also call CPS on people who expressed vaccine hesitancy, and they would, in some cases, file police reports if they could. Basically the same tactics as the Sussex Squad. Another reason these nurses were attacked by Team Halo was if they advocated for ivermectin. This nurse described how when she talked about how ivermectin works and how you could get it, they went after her. They would make TikTok videos about her, defaming her, attacking her. This nurse said that she lives in the middle of Nevada, nowhere. Takes 4 hours to get to her town, 7 hours outside of Las Vegas. And these people stalked my home. She said, I have security camera footage. They're standing out in front of my home, watching my house. So she has children, so she's very concerned about this. I mean, they were attacking these people. They would take pictures of her children that they found online and put them on sexually abused children's photos that you find on the internet. They took her children's faces and put them on those and then mailed them to her. So, I mean, it was really out of control what these trolls did from Team Halo. Now, I'm not saying all the doctors participated in this, but somehow what was going on here was encouraged. They were all coordinated behind the scenes, much like Sussex Squad, that they would go to their apps and whatnot. So I can't say, if you look at the, website or the, now taken down website, the links, they do have many doctors working there, and you can see their TikToks. A lot of them are still up. And, some of them, they all seem that they're all very much following the pro, Pfizer agenda. Some of them are quite, you can kind of tell some of them are a little nasty. But anyways, this one seemed okay. I mean, she's heavily pushing it, the vaccine on children with her cutesy little TikToks. This is Dr. Minalviz here. Tons of TikToks, dancing and saying, take your vaccine, blah, blah, And yeah, look who she interviewed. She has a podcast. And look who she interviewed. So this doctor from Team Halo just happened, she's in Britain, by the way, Dr. Minalviz. She just happened to interview Meghan Harriman on her podcast on March 4th, 2021. So again, another coincidence. I'm just wondering, I mean, how is it that this censorious group who's out to censor people for what they're paid to do by their hires up, apparently, at the UN or World Health Organization, as whoever was ending up paying for it, how is it they end up doing the same thing Harry and Meghan are doing with Imran Ahmed and harassing people, deplatforming them, getting them fired from their jobs, and they're even one of the doctors ends up interviewing Meghan Harriman. Explain that coincidence to me. I'll just end this here with this screen grab of the recent article from Daily Mail about the shocking study linking COVID jabs and cancer that was censored by a mysterious cyber attack. More censorship, in my opinion. But yeah, putting it all together. Censorship of mis and disinformation against vaccine and climate change from Melissa Fleming. She starts Team Halo. Team Halo hires these doctors and nurses who harass and deplatform any misinformation spreaders. Basically attacks them like terrorists. And she calls it Team Halo. Where'd that name come from? And then is a coincidence, again, Halo Trust. And then the tactics they used, exactly the same as Sussex Squad, but also targeting medical workers. And on top of that, one of the doctors from this Team Halo interviews Meghan Harriman. Is it just me? Is it just me? That's thinking that so I have to ask, who is Imran Ahmed really working for? because it looks like, to me, potentially, Harry, who's visiting the World Health Organization on a regular basis with his wife and whatnot, and Harry with Archwell, who goes to dinner with Tedros every year. So Harry is completely embedded in the World Health Organization, and that's who hired the Team Halo, who interviewed Misan Harriman, and who attacked American doctors and nurses. So it seems like Harry and the UN and Melissa Fleming, under them seems to be not only, I think, Team Halo, I think they're working together potentially, but also Imran Ahmed and CCD8. So it's all about censorship, and they basically covered everything, right? They covered all of this going on and attacking Americans and getting them to be demonetized, lose their jobs, and be defamed and harassed in the middle of a psyop. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Coincidence or not?